Part of the reason I love being an architect is working with people. I really enjoy working typically in doing a house with a husband and a wife, and I love working with them as a couple and trying to find out the dynamics and think through with them what their real vision is.
When we started the process with Brad, the very first meeting, we literally took pictures out of magazines, like a lot of people do, and laid them out and said, we kind of want some of this, can you help us with this? And from that, he really helped us sort of birth the vision of what we wanted, and then everything kind of grew around that.
We brought pictures to Brad, and he took kind of the best ideas and knew what we were looking for, and came back with an initial drawing, and it was pretty right on from the very beginning.
I've had a wife hand me an image of a cabin, and then at the same meeting I've had the husband give me an image of a castle. So the challenge is to try to create a coherent vision based upon two individuals who happen to be married, and we need to design one house. It's a beautiful, coherent house. So I worked very hard to distill that information. Like when I asked her, what did she see in a cabin? It wasn't the cabin itself, but it was the warmth and the charm. And I asked him, in your mind's eye, what do you see when you show me that castle? Well, it wasn't the castle, it was the environment, it was the setting, it was the driveway and the approach to that house.
I can say I loved working with Brad. He felt like a friend from the first initial meeting. He has a great patience about him, always eager. Every time he walked in for all the multiple meetings we had, he was always prepared and ready and in a great mood.
Brad will work with you so that at the end of the process, you don't feel like, well, I'm in Brad's house. You feel like I'm in my house that I got to design.
If I'm not collaborative, then at the very end of the process, then it ends up being Brad Shapiro's house, and that's the last thing I want it to feel like. I want it to feel like it is the homeowner's house.
I can't even put into words just how much he has meant to this overall project, and just making it an exciting thing for us, where we felt like it was an enjoyable process, it was a fun process.
Many people say how overwhelming it is when you build a house or you go through plans and dealing with an architect, and we enjoyed it, I think, way beyond our expectations.
We had heard a lot of people will have an architect that will draw plans for you, and then you take the plans and give them to your builder, and the builder builds the house. And first time using an architect, I guess we didn't really know what to expect, but as we completed the drawing phase and then entered the construction phase, we, in essence, kept Brad on the payroll, and we found that his input was just invaluable through the whole process.
There's some architects that literally just can draw a house well, but they don't understand how all the components fit together. And sometimes they don't take into account, you have to put heat and air in certain places, you have to put electrical and plumbing and all these things. Brad thinks about those things on the front end, and it just makes it simple. It makes the job go much more smoothly.
I really enjoy working with contractors because they obviously have a depth of experience and knowledge that I want to have as a benefit to the homeowners. No one else has that same kind of expertise, so they add value.
The old saying, the best surprise is no surprise. I think that's really important when you're remodeling a home or you're building a large home. There's just a million details, and they're going to come up, but it's better if they're thought out at the beginning and taken care of that way, and Brad has done that a lot.
The way that our builder Matt worked with Brad was incredible, and we got our interior designer together with the two of them. That team together made this process so easy, so much easier than we had thought.
One of the things when we were making the initial plans with Brad is we wanted to have an unusual architecture feature in each room, but that went with the overall vision if it had been a historical home. So in each room there's just a little something unique, that whether it's the ceiling or maybe the wainscoting in the dining room or the molding.
We use absolutely every room in this house. With the size of it, that was a concern, but we absolutely use every single room. We could not be more happy with the outcome. The girls' rooms are extra special. The lighting, the windows in their room are my favorite, and we have a barrel ceiling, and that has been one of my favorite things that we ended up adding at the end.
I love my kitchen. I love my kitchen. I'm not a morning person, but I want to wake up and go into my kitchen in the morning.
And this is sort of where Brad does the extra thing, is when we're talking about the kitchen, you don't just talk about, well, how do you want your kitchen? It's, well, where is it going to be placed in the house? What is the evening sun going to look like? If you're having a party everybody's going to come to your kitchen. That's always the case. So where do you want people to be if there's a party there? And so sort of thinking about the practical use of how you live in a house on a daily basis, I think that's where Brad adds the extra little touch. And boy, you can see by looking at the kitchen, came out perfect.
One of the things I absolutely just cherish, and this is really what gets me motivated to do the next job and to continue to do what I do, is after the clients have moved in and they'll call me and they'll say, Brad, we just want you to know we love this house. I just smile ear to ear when I hear how pleased they are with the house. And because that means that I've done my job. That means that I did listen. I gave them a house that is unique to them and their family, and they're just loving it.